everybody, this is Joe Joseph, and this is the DailySheeple.com's Daily News Brief. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Black Friday. Woo! Here it is, the running of the sheeple, coming out in full effect. Of course, Black Friday actually starts out Black Thursday now because they keep backing it up. It's almost akin to, you remember way back when you didn't see Christmas trees in the Christmas department pop up in department stores till after Thanksgiving. But now, because of retail and the fact that they need to just push the materialism and push the wants and the desires on everybody, a la Edward Bernays, so much that, it's Christmas in July half the time. It's unbelievable the way that retail merchants now deal with things. But, of course, my favorite holiday of the year is the running of the sheeple. Not because I participate in it or I choose to participate in it, but because I love to see a good fight over a $5 toaster. And with that said, Bloomberg has a piece that just came out that says Black Friday merchants see Americans exhaling after election. Interesting. It says now that Election Day is over, retailers are counting on Americans to turn their attention to Black Friday. The National Retail Federation projects that about 137.4 million consumers, again, I love that word, consumers, useless eaters, will make purchases in stores or online over the 4-day weekend that starts on Thanksgiving, marking the kickoff to the holiday shopping season. The amount Americans have spent has declined in the last 3 years, slipping 26% from 2013 to an average of $299.60 per person last year, this according to the trade group. But by most accounts, this holiday season is expected to be a boon. I don't know how or why, but apparently it's going to be. Oh, here's why. Because that fake unemployment number got lower, right? Even though you have a record number of people out of the workforce not looking for work. But because that number's lower, why? You're going to have more people spending money on Black Friday. They also say gasoline prices and inflation are low, while wages, home values, and the stock markets continue to rise. Shoppers have the wherewithal to spend. And now retailers are hoping the holiday season will give them a reason to. Now, if shoppers were smart, they wouldn't spend. They would be boycotting things like Black Friday and not participating in these troublesome, and I say troublesome because it says a lot about where our society is when we start talking about behavior like this. Herd mentality. It really is something deplorable. Companies such as Kohl Group, Gap Incorporated, and Barnes & Noble have said the U.S. presidential election was a major cause of consumers' recent reluctance to open their wallets. No, how about everybody's overextended and broke? Maybe we could try that on for size. And with the outcome settled, they're expecting the dollars to flow. Yeah, because they're just going to all of a sudden poof and materialize out of nothing. By the way, folks, if anybody knows, does anybody here have like a Federal Reserve down in their basement or in their closet somewhere? Because if you do, let me know how you went about it, because I wouldn't mind doing that myself. Let's see here. It says we have we believe, pent-up demand just based on the economics of our consumer. That according to JCPenney Company Chief Executive Officer Marvin Ellison, who, by the way, folks, just so you know, this guy is like in serious wishful thinking mode. JCPenney its back is up against the wall. And Marvin Ellison has his work cut out for him. But, hey, the glass is half full, right? Whatever. It says U.S. retail spending is expected to rise 3.6% to $655.8 billion in November and December. This according to the Washington-based NRF estimates. Retailers are poised to take full advantage of the Thanksgiving holiday period, now known by some as Black Week, which account for some 15% of holiday spending. This according to the trade group. All I can say is, folks, I don't think they're going to see the numbers that they want to see. But again, just like poll numbers, they're going to skew them. Why? Because A, they don't want investors to freak out, and B, they don't want people to understand the true nature of things. And so they want you to continue to live in this matrix and continue to put yourself into more and more debt and buy more and more cheap Chinese trinkets and electronics and gadgetry that will end up breaking in 2 or 3 months or after the holidays. It's absolute insanity that people still participate in this. By the way, just so everybody understands, you know, the highest rate of suicide the day is Christmas. Next day, day after, 2 days with the highest rate of suicide. Why? Disappointment. It just goes to show you the nature of that holiday. And it's all based on materialism. You know, they say, hey, man, Jesus is the reason for the season. No. It's not even his birthday. But go ahead and believe that all you want. It's all based on lies, on deception, and really, when you participate in it, you get what you put into it. If you're materialistic going into it, that's the kind of output you're going to get. And look, it's funny because I've learned this over the years. You can't buy yourself happiness, no matter how much you try. People who love shoes are never satisfied with more shoes. People who like to go fast, drive fast, you know, have horsepower and big muscle cars, they're never satisfied with more horsepower, more speed. They always want more. It never satisfies. People who love money, look at these elitists out there, right? $1 trillion, you got trillionaires now. Rockefellers, Rothschilds. They know they love money, but money doesn't satisfy them. Soros, it doesn't satisfy. Buffett doesn't satisfy. They keep piling up more and more money. Does it satisfy them? No. What's eerily, and it's a shame really, but what's absent is spirituality, love, family. Those things satisfy, you know, not materialism, not things. Things will never satisfy. They will never fill that void, that hole that you have deep inside of you. And that's something that I hope, this being Thanksgiving, that all of you can look inward and say, wow, you know, for 100 years or so, 150 years, Americans have been duped. We've been sold a bill of goods. You know, it was at one point in time that Christmas trees were illegal in this country. There's a good reason for it. Look, I'm not saying you can't celebrate it. That's what you want to do, knock yourself out. But at least know what you're celebrating before you celebrate it. And don't go into it with willful ignorance, with your head in the sand. Especially all of you that say that, hey, you know, I'm all for the truth. Don't cherry pick. Don't cherry pick. What we need in this country are people that are honest, that have integrity, and that have the courage to do what's right, regardless of what your family says, regardless of what your friends might say, your coworkers might say, because we've just become a nation of poo nannies, literally, for lack of a better term. My next story is a very interesting one. This by the British Herald, or the Bristol Herald Courier. It's an AP story. But I found this fascinating just because of what was found at a tag sale. Now, if you don't know what a tag sale is a Northeast term for a yard sale. And so it's an amazing story. It says, the blue and gray stripes struck Jillian Eisman like a lightning bolt. She was rummaging through a packed closet during a Long Island tag sale when she immediately recognized the symbol of horror and hate, a jacket worn by a prisoner at the Nazi Dachau concentration camp during World War II. She said, quote, I knew exactly what it was even before I saw the numbers 84679 on the chest, said Eisman, who purchased the jacket for $2 at the sale last year and donated it to the Kupfersberg Holocaust Center in New York City. Curators there not only put the jacket on display, but also unearthed the story of the person who wore it. A teenager forced to make munitions for the German war effort, spent 4 years in a relocation camp, and then came to America, never telling his children much about Dachau or that he kept the jacket. The story of Benzion Persecki, who later became Ben Perez, is told in extraordinary detail thanks largely to the serial number and careful records that he kept and that his daughter found long after he died. Quote, "It was known to us that my father and grandmother had both been in the Holocaust," said Lori Zulio, who was 13 when her father died of a stroke in 1978. Quote, "We knew he had a brother who had been killed, but he didn't talk about it much." Her brother, Michael Perez, who was 15 when their father died, said he wanted to protect us as kids. He saw people die every day. Holocaust historians say jackets such as the ones saved by Perez are fairly rare, since most of the clothing worn by concentration camp prisoners was burned because of lice and other potential diseases. Also, most freed prisoners didn't want to keep reminders of their horrifying ordeal. Kerry Lane, curator of the exhibit, said Persecki was spared when Nazis invaded his Lithuanian homeland because he was 15. All Jews 16 and older, including his father and 17-year-old brother, were executed. The stocky 5'4" teenager was put to work making munitions, and years later he wrote about beatings he suffered as a prisoner. He was affectionate, he was loving, said his daughter, and he was the glue of the family. Zulio said that she was flabbergasted when she heard that the jacket had been found and hidden in a closet. She said, I didn't even know, I didn't even look there to know it was for sale. What are the odds of someone finding it and recognizing it for what it was and then actually donating it? I mean, think about how many people would have gone and put it up for auction. Seriously. And probably made a ton of money on it because of the rarity of the find. I mean, it's amazing. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say the Holocaust didn't happen. That's rubbish. It happened. There's no doubt about it. The numbers may be inflated. The 6 million number may be inflated, as, you know, the Nazis kept records, the Russians kept records. But I have personal friends of mine who had grandparents that still bore the tattoos and had the memories. And there's no doubt in my mind that it happened. And what an amazing story and an amazing find. And also, you know, to be able to donate that to a museum instead of, you know, for personal gain, again, shows that's the kind of kindness and the kind of love and the kind of humanity that we need to embrace. Truly. It's amazing. In other news, according to NBC News, Navy reports more than 100,000 sailors have been hacked. That's our government for you, always looking out for your best interest. See, unknown hackers compromised a number of U.S. Navy computers and gained access to sensitive information, including the names and social security numbers of more than 100,000 current and former sailors. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Services has informed the Navy that at least one of the company's laptops used by their employees under a naval contract was compromised. Since then, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service has continued the investigation and uncovered that the information of 134,386 current and former sailors' information has been accessed. You know, because they take it, the Navy takes the incident extremely seriously. Well, how come you didn't take it seriously before? How come you have to take it seriously now? How come there has to be breach after breach after breach after breach? I can tell you why. The reason is because government, my friends, is incompetent. Because government cannot be efficient because it's so bloated and it's so big and it does not keep the best and the brightest. Why? Because of political correctness. God forbid they actually did do that. It would probably be dangerous. But they don't. Instead, they promote an atmosphere of mediocrity. Civil servants have a very hard time getting fired. Very hard time getting fired. Why? Because it's not politically correct to do so. Why? They may fire you for stupid, asinine reasons, but they won't fire you because you're not doing your job. No, 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 no. As long as you show up every day and sit at your desk, you're good to go. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, 135,000 sailors. Sorry. Hey, Vice Admiral Robert Burke says he's taking it very seriously. So you should rest easy at night that the Navy is taking it very seriously. You see, folks, and then, accidents happen. No. Accidents don't happen to 135,000 people whose identity is, for lack of a better term, compromised. That's their property. Now, let's see him go try and sue the government and see how far they get. Because it only works one way. As long as it's in the benefit of the government, then it's okay. But to average schmuckatellis like you and me, nah. Nope. We're on the poo-poo end of the stick. And that's why people are so pissed off. That's why you had the push that overcame all the trickery and tomfoolery of the election and that got Donald Trump elected. Not that that's going to solve any of our issues, but at least it went to show that, yeah, people are pissed and that they want some sort of change or some sort of accountability. But it's not just here. It's in all over the world, of course. We had Brexit before. And now Italy, my friends. Italy is set to be the next populist uprising. According to the UK Express, Italy next to reject establishment as protest vote set to win referendum. Isn't this interesting? It says the Prime Minister's failure to reach out to working class people suggests large regions will snub Mr. Renzi's plan for constitutional reform. It says a Demos poll has revealed Mr. Renzi's reforms will be rejected by an 11 percentage point margin in the south of the country, where most of the poorest regions are located, compared with a 7-point margin across the country. As the nation prepares for a momentous referendum which could spark an exit from the European Union, Mr. Renzi said that he would have no interest in running the country if voters reject the proposed constitutional reform. And so what this guy did is he went all in. He said it's EU or bust. And I guess he thought that maybe the Italians would get behind him because he's not as old. He's not like one of those old decrepit globalists. He's one of those younger faces. And perhaps, maybe his charming smile might win him over. Nope. Sorry. People are pissed. People want accountability. People want to see some of these people swing. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. A la Trump. Oh, yeah, I'm going to prosecute you. I'm going to get my attorney general to prosecute you, Hillary. Yeah, that didn't happen, did it? Politicians will say anything to get you up, get you riled up, get you roused up, get you to vote for them. But it's all baloney. It's all lies. And I don't know how many times people need to see it to finally say, I'm done. I'm done. Not doing this anymore. I am not going to lower myself to give credibility to this broken system. And they say, well, if you don't vote, then Hillary would get in or this or that. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Doesn't make any difference. Folks, one way or another, the powers that shouldn't be have a plan. They have a plan for you. They have a plan for the world. And whether it's plan A or plan B, it all depends on who their puppet is. And then they execute. And now they know that Trump's their puppet. And now they're going to execute. Very interesting, isn't it? I just love the way that people are so easily bamboozled. And I can certainly hope and pray, and I do certainly hope and pray, that people finally pull their heads out of their tuchuses and actually see things for what they are and don't fall prey to the smoke and mirrors that are so easily and often ramrodded down our throats. And in closing, I want to share a Thanksgiving message that I read today by Mike Krieger over at libertyblitzkrieg.com. And it's an interesting one. Of course, now it's Friday, so I can't really say it's Thanksgiving anymore, but every day's Thanksgiving, folks, in our hearts, and should be. We should always be thankful and not take things for granted because, let me tell you something, it can always be worse. And he says, on this special day, for families across America, I wanted to share the timeless words attributed to Shawnee Chief Tecumseh, which I've shared with readers on many past Thanksgiving. Let me read it to you. He says, live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about his religion. Respect others in their views and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long and of service to your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, or even a stranger if in a lonely place. Show respect to all people, but grovel to none. And when you rise in the morning, give thanks for the light, for your life, for your strength. Give thanks for your food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason to give thanks, the fault lies in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. And when your time comes to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time, to live their lives over again in a different way, singing your death song, and die like a hero going home. This is Joe Joseph. This is the DailySheeple.com Daily News Brief. I will see you all next week. Have a great night, everybody, and God bless you.